All right, everybody, it's Friday, Free Tip Friday for Friday, May 17th. I'm Kate Richberg. Welcome to the Friday broadcast on beadshop.com. It's great to have you all here as always. Today we're going to do some fun, kind of off the cuff making. I know that you like it when I do that, and I like it when I do that too. So it's going to be fun. I'm wearing some big earrings, some big tassel earrings. I know they're kind of crazy. They blend a little bit into my shirt, but let me put on some lipstick while we're chatting because, Fridays are a little more casual. And this one's going to be pretty casual. Let me tell you. All right. There we go. One. All right. Great to see everyone. Now that I'm lipsticked, it is my favorite MAC Ruby Woo, my favorite one. Anyway, let me see. Oh, thank you, Zakaya. I like these too. These big tassels. You've seen these tassels that we've had before. We have these. They're nice and light. Kim Crawford, happy birthday to you. I see you popping in there. Happy birthday. Let's see who else is here. Good to see everybody. Let's see if there's anything here that I need to address. Looks like people are having some rain, some good weather. It's beautiful here for sure. We're all good. Okay. Well, let's get this show on the road. Let me add my other camera here. We're going to talk about what I'm going to do. But before I do that, let me do my usual plea for social shares and follows. So, we've got our bead shop group, the bead table on Facebook, our great Instagram, beadshop.com, our Pinterest pages. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification button so that you always see this broadcast in your subscription feed so you never miss a broadcast. And any questions, shoot them out to info@beadshop.com. Okay. That's that story. Let's see. Okay. Let me just kind of lay this stuff out, and see where it goes. I pulled the product yesterday when I was looking for stuff to do. And I thought I would do a soft flex float, because I love working with soft flex. It's so fast and easy for float necklaces. We've got this listed, or if it's not listed yet, let me see what is on the homepage. Gosh, we've just been so busy around here that I think that Drea, if it's not up beforehand, all of this will be up after the show because I gave her a list. So don't worry, it'll all be there. Drea is in Boston right now because the big MG walk is this weekend. She just landed a little bit ago, but she's on the email and everything. So, but the MG walk is tomorrow. Very excited for her, and a big thank you again to all of you for all of your kind donations to Drea's MG Walk Fund. It's near and dear to Drea's heart, and therefore near and dear to ours as well. So, excuse me, a big thank you for that. Let me see. Here's my triangles I need. Here's my coffee I need. Okay. Pardon me. I know, isn't it great? I'm really proud. She is just, I think we're all super proud. She is really doing such a great job with her fundraising skills for sure. So for today's float, I thought I'd use some of the new Czech fire polish that we just launched this week. You saw Emily work with it in her epic episode on Wednesday Wasn't that great? The color blocking. If you haven't watched it yet, my friends, jump over and take a look. It was such a good episode, full of wisdom from Emily, of course, and really just was really fun to see how her memory wire bracelets evolved. Really great. Let me actually do this. Put those in there. So I've got some of this Hishi. This is the Thistle, I think. Let me see. Let me see if I can pull that up and see what it is. It's under projects. We've got everything listed here. So bear with me here just a second. And I'll tell you what all of this is in front of me. It's loading, loading, loading. Okay, so I'm going to use the layering clasp. This is the 3-hook layering clasp. And then I've got the chain. I've got some circle back in satin gold. I've got some worldview in gold. I've got some long and short in antique silver. I'm going to kind of mix up the metals here. This is the thistle etched Hishi. This is the 4mm charcoal matte luster, light blue with matte bronze. This one here, white etched with the gold finish, also in 6mm. I grabbed some bugle beads because I thought I might want them. I don't know. This is the bugle bead to the 2001. And then, of course, all of the regular findings and stuff that you'll need for soft flex. The soft flex, I'm going to use the medium, the 0.019, and I'm going to use it in the satin silver. So that's what I'm going to use. We're going to see how it all shakes out. I've also got some wire and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. Okay. So we're going to list all of this as soon as I finalize everything with this project that I'm doing right on air. Okay. Yeah, I love this Hishi as well. The Hishi size, it's a nice bead size. It is about 6mm across and about 3mm tall. Really nice. It's got a nice size hole. Really great. So let me start off by just kind of laying out some beads and seeing what we see, right? Look what I also just, I'm totally distracted by stuff. Let me see, what else do I have here? Maybe it's because I've used this color palette so often. There's some Ceylon in that eggplant color. I don't know if I'm going to use it. Who knows? But I've got it sitting here. This is a 6/0. This is a silver lined amethyst AB. Look at that. Right? This is, I've got 2 sizes of the Hishi. Oh, I know why I have these. I can't use them. These are for my gardener wrap. Never mind. I'm like, why are all these sitting here together? It's because that's for my next project. No, I cannot use them. Sorry. Oh, well, let's stick to the script, I guess. Okay. Let's see. Let's take a look here. I know, I love that 6/0 too. Maybe I'll just take a few of them, right? Because they're so perfect. It's the silver lined amethyst, and I'll have plenty for my, let me see if I can get this off here. I'll have plenty for my, my wrap. I'm pre-recording the garden wrap episode. I think you folks will love it. That's going to go on while I'm gone. But yeah, this is pretty. Isn't this pretty? Yeah, I like it. Okay. Let me straighten out this camera if I can. All right. For a float, what I want to do with this piece, as you know, this clasp, it's what we call a layering clasp, right? And this layering clasp opens and closes like this, and that's exactly what it does. It helps you layer your strands. So on the strand that you're wearing, you have a loop on this side, and then you've got another lobster claw over here on this side. And I'm looking around for my other lobster claws. I have them out, but I'll find them as I go along. I know they're here somewhere. Because I pulled them out yesterday when I was working with them. But anyway, I'll find them. But you want to connect the lobster claws, to the other side. So you can mix and match and layer and do all of that stuff. Okay, but the clasps are the last thing I add anyway. So hopefully they will magically appear between now and then. Let's hope. Anyway, okay. Let's take a look. What do I want to start with? Maybe I'll just start with cutting a piece of soft flex. Let me pull this down here and let me put me back up. So here's my soft flex here. I'm not even going to measure it with a measuring tape. I'm going to measure it around my neck. And I'm going to say I want enough to like close and stuff like that. This is going to be a little bit long, but this is about how much I want. So I'll cut it and then I'll measure it for you. Let me get my wire cutters here. And yeah, oh, thanks. I'm trying to keep my hair out of my way because it is hot here because, it's Fresno. That's what happens in the summertime. So let me measure. This is 21 inches here. So that'll be the first one. Okay. So let's just start making a float, I guess. I don't know. I have no agenda really. So let's do this. I got these, the bugles. Let me free those up too. It's a good thing I'm making this on the show. It's forcing me to make a decision. I don't know why. I'm a little indecisive this morning. I'm not sure why that is. Not indecisive, but I guess, I don't know, maybe a little laid back. I don't know. I have no like anxiety to finish or anything. You know what I mean? I'm just like, all right, let's see what evolves. Let's not even worry about it too much and let's just see what happens. Okay. I'm going to start in the center. And usually when I work with soft flex, we put a piece of tape on both ends, right? But I'm not going to because I'm going to work from the left side and the right side. And I'm going to start with this bead, this white bead right here, this etched white with the gold. I'm going to put some of these he, she along the sides. And this one here, like this. Let's see what I've got. Yeah, look at that, looks good. Right there. Nice. Let me get the crimp tubes out because I need to make some decisions. I mean, we just can't sit here all day and just string together. I mean, we could sit here all day and string together, but we actually need to move this necklace forward. So what I'm going to do, is get the crimp tubes out and just start crimping, right? Not really worrying about layout or whatever. There's some crimp covers that I'm going to use. Let me zoom out. Let me see if you can see those. Nope, let me zoom out a little bit more. The crimp covers, there they are. Let me just lift this phone up a little bit. There we go. Crimp covers. Let me get some crimp tubes. I want gold. I guess I want gold. I mean, I've got the crimp covers in gold. Do I have some here? I've got every color. Let me see. Maybe they're over here. Oh, Margaret, how can I concentrate when I'm leaving for France so soon? I'll tell you, I have been I have been packed for like 2 weeks. I'm one of those weirdos who likes to start packing like a month beforehand. And all I do is I just keep putting things aside that I want to take with me. So I just have a pile. It's not actually in my suitcase yet, but I just kind of put it all kind of together. There's some gold crimps right there. And I'm going to cover these with some crimp covers. So it doesn't actually even really matter. So I'm going to get the silver crimps out too. It feels like I've got every color except the 2 colors that I need. Time to order crimp tubes, everybody. Time to order crimp tubes. Here's some silver. So yeah, I just keep putting little things like out that I want to take with me. These are 3 mil. I don't think I want those. And then I'll put it all in my suitcase sometime next week, I guess. Right? My mom. This is why I get things done because my mom. This is sage advice from my mother right here. So if you need something done, do it on a camera in front of your mother and kind of waffle around, or in front of my mother, and she'll tell you to pull it all together. So, and then you do. So, good job, Gwenda. Good job. Good job. Oh, Bonnie, next time. You'll come with me next time. That's so exciting that you're getting a grandchild. That's awesome. And Fridays are always a little more casual for sure. Michelle has a question. Do I take all my supplies with me or do I ship them separately? I do take them all with me. I am carrying on a bunch of, it's not a bunch of stuff. I'm really streamlining it so that I don't have, a billion items in my carry-on. But yeah, so I'll take some photos so you guys can see them, right? All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to put these 2 crimps on. I don't want these to fall off. So I'm just going to do this. And I'm not even going to worry about putting crimp covers on or anything at this point. I'm just going to put my crimp tubes on and then we'll see what we see. Okay, let me put that one on. Let me put this one on. My groove will kick in any second now. Sometimes you just have to push through, right? Okay. So here's my crimping plier. I'm going to come in with my Xeron crimping plier and I'm going to crimp that first crimp. And I'll slow it down eventually and talk about the crimping process. But we also have our skill builders. And I want to make sure that I don't do this too tight, that visually it's tight, right? But you don't see a lot of space, but physically there's some movement there. Okay. So close that up. There we go. Okay. So there we go. Like so. Let me focus that. There we go. Okay, great. Now let me do another segment. I can just continue maybe to do those segments, or maybe I can alternate them, right? So let me put a crimp tube on. And that will be my space, right? So we'll do that. This is about an inch-ish, I bet. Yeah, it's about an inch. Isn't that the joke, though, about like Gen Xers, right? We were basically feral children, right? We were left to our own devices and ran around and left the house at like in the morning and then never came back until dinner, right? Wasn't that the Gen X? That's because our parents were like, yeah, go do it. My mom made me very resilient. She's it still is, great mom. I don't mean to besmirch her in any way. We always had fun. Always, always. Thank goodness I was a kid before like social, right? So that my whole life wasn't recorded on the internet. Fun times, fun times. Now I'm going to crimp here. And see, I use the little bugle beads right there. We also learned how to cook really early. I don't know if you folks were, if you did some cooking and stuff for your family. My gran taught me how to cook pretty early. My mom definitely taught me how to cook pretty early. Yeah, it was fun times. Summer. And summer spent here in Fresno. That was fun when we'd come visit my grandparents. Good times. Good times. Chris, yesterday I got home. I ran over to my studio for a little bit because I had to finish a piece that I was working on for someone. So I ran over to the studio, finished that up, and then came back. And Chris was listening to something that sounded like the radio. And I'm like, wait, why would Chris be listening to the radio, right? No one ever listens to the radio anymore. What he found on YouTube was a stream from 1982. I don't know if any of you are Southern California people who listen to K-Rock, KRQ, I think. I don't know. KRQK. I don't know. K-Rock. You remember with Rodney on the Rock? Anyway, it was 1982, a broadcast from 1982. And they were saying, come to Licorice Pizza, which was a record store. Actually, Chris worked at that record store, right? Come to Licorice Pizza in Canoga Park and meet Duran Duran and pick up their new album for $5.99. I was like, oh, let's go back. Let's go to Canoga Park. K-Rock, K-R-O-Q. That's right. Thanks, Kim. For some reason, I couldn't spell it. K-Rock. It was in, I think it was based in Pasadena, I think, is where it was. I can't really remember. But yeah. So LA, right? So LA. But yeah, and then like Haircut 100 was playing at some like little tiny venue. But yeah, it was really fun. So we listened to that all afternoon, like it was 1982. It was awesome. But yeah, YouTube is great to find like old, not only new bead shop videos, but old music, right? So let's put these on. I'm on my third one here. Yeah, I remember that was, SoCal, whenever we'd go to Southern California, as soon as we would go over the Grapevine, I'd be like, let's put it on K-Rock. Once in a while in the summers, we could get it here in Fresno when we were visiting, but in the Bay Area, we couldn't. Bay Area, we had KFRC, and then we had Live 105. If any of you are my Bay Area people, you remember those hot summer days. When I went to school in London back in the late 80s, one of our friends, because a bunch of us from school went over, it was good times. He recorded a whole bunch of like time off the radio off of Live 105 because he was worried that he wouldn't be able to get a good radio station in England. Right? Hilarious. I still remember to this day those Live 105 tapes. And still, when you listen to like a song, you think, oh, that's the next song that's supposed to come on, because you'd always hear it like that on the radio. Anyway, so fun times. I think that these bugles are looking pretty darn good. Oh my gosh, there's almost 200 of you watching, and I'm reminiscing about radio stations. Oh my gosh, I didn't really even see. But I don't know. It's Friday. It's Free Tip Friday. Walk down memory lane. Let's put this one on. There was a good question about Zap that I'm going to address in just a second. Oh, I know. Tickets, right? Terry, getting those tickets. Tickets, right? Oh, whoop. Did that crack? Oh, it cracked just a little bit right there. Well, what do? I'll tell you, this is not super noticeable. If it was any more than that, let me see if I can get this. I love it that the Seattle contingent is chiming in about their radio stations, right? I love it. See, the crack is not that big, so I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to crimp it. If it was any bigger of a crack, what I would do is I would get my wire cutters and I'd come in and I'd just really carefully cut that away and kind of pry it open to take it off. Then what I would do, because the wire might be just slightly damaged under here, I would put another bead in here, and then I'd put another one of those beads on so that little section would be covered up. Okay, so I'm going to pay attention with how I'm crimping here. That's why you also want these to have some movement. See, this section was a little bit tight, right? Oh my gosh, I love how many people had radio station connections. Isn't that amazing? Stem Hilly, I also still listen to the radio, but like I'll listen to like NPR. Sometimes I listen to the radio, sometimes. And there's the KDFC in the Bay Area is our classical music station, which is good. I love this, Cindy. Your dad was program director and you got all the tickets. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Wouldn't that be amazing? That's so fun. Yep, I would totally do the cassette player tape, like hold it up to the, to the radio and try and hit record right with those two buttons. Hit them very slowly, like all at the same time, so it didn't make a big noise on your cassette. Yeah, for sure. Let's take a look and see how this looks lengthwise here. So we're here. Yeah, here we go. Like this. So this is a good length. So I have about, maybe I'm going to do like one more segment, like here and here, right? Oh, I love it. I love this. I know, right? Radio, I don't know. The songs from our youth, right? Maybe I'm just dating myself, but the songs from our youth were so awesome, right? Especially in the summer. Mixtapes, you knew that someone really liked you when they made you a mixtape, whether it was like a friend, like a girlfriend, and you just share music, or if it was a boy that you liked, right? I still have some of my 80s mixtapes because, it was good times. Lynn, me and you, class of 84. Me too. Me too. Oh, and that's right. Kendra has her radio show. Thank you, Janice, for reminding me. I love that. That's awesome. Kendra. I love it. Love it. Yeah, mixtapes, I'll tell you. And you had to really like write them out, like I tried to be really neat when I wrote it all out and stuff. Yeah, all the names. Yeah, so fun. Chris still makes me mixtapes, but those are playlists on Spotify now. but still, when the person you like still makes you a mixtape, it's just virtual. Yeah, mixtapes were awesome. All right, there we go. And Stemhilly, what? You, girl, how did I not know this? Do you play music? Do you chat? What do you do? And when you're on, please tell us so I can listen. I know Stemhilly on Facebook, you've been posting some of your favorite albums, which is pretty cool. And I've been seeing those and agreeing with a lot of your great musical choices there. Yep. Love it. Love it. I want to know. I know we had to decide. Yep, that is correct. You had to decide a 60-minute tape or a 90-minute tape. With me, I was like, oh, can I afford the fancy 90-minute tape so it looks like, that I'm super cool instead of like the ones that were branded with like TG&Y or I don't know, Kmart tapes or whatever. You saved up for Memorex, right? Memorex. If you did someone a mixtape on a fancy cassette tape, you knew that you liked them. Oh, I like that. Stemhilly chat, public affairs. I always learn so many cool things from you when you post things like movies or things that or people that you're watching or chatting with or whatever. So that's awesome. I like it. I have another friend of mine who works at what's the public radio over there in Santa Cruz, whatever that one is. I can't remember, right? But she does music over there as well. Okay, so here's this one. Oh, I love it. There's so many class of 84. 84 ever, everybody. 84 ever. 84 ever. So here's this one. We'll do this right here. And let's just put some chain in here, right? Let me go to the center. Oh, and these are just regular crimp tubes. These are 2x2 crimp tubes, Angeline. They look like this. It's my crimp tube of choice right here, right? And I'm going to, I crimp with these, and I'll talk a little bit more about crimping, right? Oh, yeah, I love it. Yes, Liz, break off the tab. I forgot about that. So you can never record over it. Class of 81. Awesome. That's right. There it is. Thank you, Janice. That's it. Awesome. Let me start in the center. This chain can actually be a little bit shorter because I'm going to put some bead segments here. So if this was 21 inches, I'm going to cut this at 18 inches. Okay, so let me get my my chain. And then I'm going to cut it at 18 inches right here. Yeah, I can't remember who I was chatting with. It might have been some of my fiber friends or whatever. We were chatting about grad night in Disneyland because almost all of the California high schools would have a grad night at Disneyland. And you drive down from wherever you were. It must have been some Fresno friends, right? And we were talking about grad night at Disneyland. So fun. So fun. Oh, why did I never do this? In there where the tab was pulled. Wow, that makes my 18-year-old self super happy. I love it. I love it. Okay. So I'm just going to cut this in half. I'm going to start in the center. And I'm going to clip that. Jeanette, this is a good question. I'm a big fan of these Zurons because I like the way it folds the crimp like that, like a little, almost like a little taco. It folds it like that. I know that some people love the magical crimper because it does like round it so it looks more like a bead. I am the folded crimp plus crimp cover kind of a gal. But if you love the look of that, more power to you, right? Yeah, I love the Zurons too, Angelin. These and they are spendy. You know, they're made in the U.S. They're a great small company out of Maine, and you'll only buy them once. That's the thing, right? So they are a quality tool for sure. Lynn, yeah, the Om Terra crimper by my buddy Tara. Her last name is escaping me. She's a really great stringer. We've been done shows and stuff together before. Also really great. Super fun. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I bet they'll let you visit them. They're super nice. They're super nice people. Grad night, I know there was somebody, I can't remember who our band was. I always forget, and then someone from my class goes, remember we saw them at grad night? And I'll be all, oh, yeah, I forgot completely. I think I was too busy trying to ride the rides and negotiate my stiletto heels. That's right. Laura Gasparini. She's awesome. She's awesome. I'm not sure where in Maine they are, but give them a quick Google. I'm sure. I've always wanted to go to Maine. So my mom has too. My mom and I are like, let's go to Maine. Right, Ma? I don't know if my mom's still watching or not. My guess is she is. But yeah, the crimpers are awesome. Yeah, the color dots, Janice put these on way back in the day when we had just gotten these crimps in. We put the different color dots so we knew where we were aiming. This one's for the crimper. This one's for the rounder for the 3 millimeter, and this one's for the rounder for the 2 millimeter right here. Okay. Yeah, heels. Yeah, I totally did grad night in like 3-inch heels. You know, black pumps, right? Because it was 1984. Okay, so I've cut this in half. Let me get some wire. I'm going to get 24 gauge, I think. And again, we have a lot of what do I want to say? I lost my train of thought. This wire, I don't know. It'll come back to me because I was looking here at everyone's. They are located in Saco, Maine. Yes, and there was a question about Zap with stuff right here. So can you use Zap with a small bead as a crimp? And I think there was another question about Zap as well. And yes, Parawire does make an antique brass color. Lynn, we do carry it in the antique brass. It's called vintage bronze, I think. So it's a little bit darker, but it's a nice color for sure. The Zap, what you could do I have some Zaps here? I do. I was actually going to test it out. What we used to do way back in the day, you remember when illusion floats were all the rage? Saco. Oh, okay. Saco. Good to know. Saco, Maine. Perfect. I got it. Yeah, I know. We're all sensitive about pronunciations when the places we're from. Totally. All right, so here's this. I'm going to put some Zap glue. When we did those illusion necklaces, the Zap, we would use Zap or we would use like epoxy cement, stuff like that, right? And we would glue the pearls. It would be pearls on a clear thread, right? Remember those? And so we would glue the pearls in place on the thread, okay, on the illusion cord, the clear. It was essentially fishing line, what it was. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put some Zap, and I'm going to put a healthy dose of Zap on there. Can you see it? Now I'm going to slide a bead on, and I'm going to slide one right to where that Zap is, so that the Zap is now inside that bead hole, right? Now I'm going to add another healthy dose on this side and this side, like that. There we go, like that. And then we're going to go here, whoops, with a 4 mil, and here with a 4 mil. And I'm going to put this to the side, and we're going to check it later in the broadcast. Okay. So I'm going to kind of push these together, and that's glued on there. Okay. Like that. All right, let's see how that goes. Yeah, we couldn't glue this, like we could use it in place of a crimp, and thank you, Janice, for clarifying that. You could use it, I think, in place of a crimp like this, right, to glue this on, but you wouldn't use it to glue like a clasp or anything on the end. Okay. Yes, lots of good health wishes to you, Angeline. You know, so many, we're all going through so much stuff, but keep fighting for sure. All right. Gorilla Glue. You know, Lynn, you could try Gorilla Glue if you have it. I've used it for other things, not in the jewelry world. Since we sell Zap, that's what I use, and I haven't really seen the need to move away from it, right? So let me put that over to the side. Let me get rid of this glue because, as you know, I'll be walking around with it glued to my elbow. Let's wire wrap. That's where I was. Okay, so let me do some fast gluing, some fast wire wrapping here. Okay. The thing about Zap, though, and any glue when you're using them, is that you need to make sure, let me lift this up a little bit, that you let the glue set. Same thing if you were like gluing these crimps using glue instead of crimps like that, right? You really need to let it sit, and let it cure with any glues. And then you should be good to go. If you have issues with Zap holding your magnetic clasps, really make sure again that you've got that kind of healthy dose in there. But also experiment. Experiment. Your mileage may vary, right, with what we've got. So I'm going to wire wrap this in. How am I doing on time? I'm just screwing around, right? Not focusing. My mom will be over here anytime. Clip this. Close that up. Come on. Can I get it in there? See that I'm using my right angle like this. Let's see what beads I'm going to use. Let me use these 4 mils. I didn't use them on the other one. I'm going to make this one a little longer of a segment. One of these. 2 of the Hishi. And this right here. Okay, that 4 mil. All right, so I'm going to use the tip of my chain nose plier, or my bent chain nose right there. I'm gonna bend it over. Up and over the top. Around, I want to make sure that my loops are about the same size, which they are. And put this through. Someone was saying earlier in the chat how much they love this community, and hashtag same, you guys. We're so grateful for you all. I love this chat, right? I love seeing people share things amongst like beading questions, like life lessons, all kinds of cool stuff. So I appreciate you all being here. This right angled plier that I'm using, Kay, it is the same as the bent chain nose. Let me put your question up here and let me try and focus this real quick. There we go. Can you see how this plier is a 90-degree angle? Bent chain nose, and we carry the other bent chain nose too. I still haven't found it. I was talking about it yesterday, and I still haven't found the bent chain. But the other bent chain that we carry is like at a 45-degree angle, so it's diagonal. This one is like at a right angle, like this, right? So it's really easy for me, especially if I'm wire wrapping. Take a look. It's like little fingers right here, right? So I can come in and I can wire wrap. See how when I wire wrap at right angles here? So I'm coming in, wire wrapping at that right angle, like so. Just like that, okay? And it just allows me to really hold it nice and even and tight when I hold it like so. So it's all good. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to clip like that. Okay. Now I'm going to just slide that in just like that. And you can see I've got that nice, you can't because I need to focus this, but let me focus it. And let me show you here. Okay. So here is, hopefully I used the right piece of chain. You know what? I didn't. This was the other half of the chain that I was supposed to be using, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to add another segment there. So that's what I get for monitoring all this chat. But this is, yeah, like even with this is the circle back chain, I think. Yes, it is. And I can check because of my newly organized chain. And you can see this will, maybe I won't have it line up. Maybe I'll have it go to the side here, right? Because this will make it almost, let me show you. See, it's almost the right length there. So if I come here and I cut this like right there, I'll do this one again. Okay. All right. The wire cutter I'm using today, this is the Xuron, the one that has the retaining clip so that when you cut your wire, the wire doesn't fly across the room. But you could also use your regular Xuron cutter, whatever you like using. Let me get some more of that wire. This is 24 gauge. Where did I put it? I thought I had another piece of wire here somewhere, but I'll just cut myself another piece. That's 22 gauge, I guess, is what am I using? I don't know. Who are you all and what are you doing here? 24 gauge. Here it is. My week is catching up with me, I think. That's what's happening. Bend at a right angle. Yeah, we do. We sure do carry them. You can jump Kay right over to the 90 degree. And don't forget, folks, we have a coupon code on the homepage. It's 10% off. So you can add that coupon code and get 10% off your plier. Okay. Any of the tools, you can get that 10% off there. They really will change your life for sure. And these are only tools, my friends, that you'll need to buy once. I've had these. Xuron very graciously sent me these right angle pliers years ago. And I use them all the time. And finally, I was like, why don't we carry these? Because I kept wanting to use them on a broadcast. And I only like to use the tools that we carry, right? Obviously. And so I was like, why don't we carry these? So we finally got them in after me using them forever. I think we added them in last year. But they really will be a game changer for you. Mine that I'm using are probably, I don't know, 10 years old, 15 years old, at least. But see how you really can hold it like that? Really good holder. There we go. And I'm going to come in and clip that extra away. This is that cutter with the retaining clip. I'm going to come in and see how it hangs onto that wire so it doesn't, right, hit me in the head. Now I'm going to come around and just that little tip of wire, push that in. Okay, so let me repeat this segment here that I've got. 4 millimeter, 2 Hishi, 1 6 mil white etched. Janice, you did such a beautiful job. Janice was the one who curated all of these beads for this latest drop. Such a beautiful job with all of these colors and finishes. So pretty. These etched thistle. Look at how nice those are. They have a little bit of a nubby surface to them and they're kind of matte. There's that. Okay. Now, I'm going to come in. Oh, Roberta, I'm glad you like these right angles. Good. Great. So there we are. I'm going to bend over the top. I'm going to come in with my round nose, up and over, down and under, and then put on my other piece of chain. And this definitely does not have to be symmetrical. I'm showing this kind of symmetrically because it's easy, right? I do one half and then I just copy the other half, so it's really fast. But you don't have to be symmetrical at all. There we go. Right? That looks good. Where are my cutters? come in, cut, and push this down. Okay. There we go. All right, let's take a look and see what we have. You folks are so, so nice. Look at that. So pretty. Let's put another bit of chain in. Let's check this real quick though before. Yeah, look, it's on there. So you could look, and it's also the glue's not dry. I totally glued it to my finger. There we go. Yeah, these glue on just fine onto the soft flex. Look at that, right? Really nice. Let's put on a silver chain. And what I think we'll do with this one, bear with me here just a second. I'm going to go to my newly organized head pins. And I'm going to get 5. Something like this. I mean, you can fill it out, make it more full a little bit. Let me zoom out a little bit here. Okay. Local yarn tour. Carrie, I'm down. Come down and pick me up. I love it. Have a great time. I want to hear about it. I want to hear about how it goes. Okay, so let me find the center of this one, or at least the center of this length right here, because I'm going to make it about the same length. Yeah, dangles. I mean, why not, right? So let's put this soft flex right over there. I'm going to cut this the same length. This is the long and short, right? Let's clip it. Put it to the side. Find my center. And I'm going to do this like fast earrings, right? My mom always tells the story about how, I don't know, we made them for like her church, like bazaar or something. And I don't know if my mom's still watching or not, but we made, maybe she can chime in and remind her how many pairs of earrings we made in like an hour. Like she came, her office was right by my house when we lived in Gilroy. And she had like an hour or whatever. And she's like, I need these earrings. I'm like, okay. So we made, I can't remember how many pairs we made in that hour, but I'm going to go super fast here. So there's 3. Here's 4. And I'm going to make them all a little different. Here's 4. I think that other one was just a plain wire. So let me get another silver dot head pin. Notice how I'm using the head pins with the dots. These are my favorite, right? Yeah, I'll show you, Sylvia, how my head pins, I'll give you a little, it's a little messy over here on the side, but I'll take the second camera down and I'll show you how I organize them. Thanks, Angelin. This is the bracelet I did last year, I think. Last week with the Tylas. It might have been last week. I can't remember. But with our new symbols findings, and I've got it on backwards actually, or front to back, because this is actually the nubby portion of that is the tiles. The Tila mix was really fun. You folks loved it. It sold out pretty quickly. I'm going to make another Tila mix for you folks, I promise, later on this summer, because we're going to launch some more Tila things. Okay, so here's, yeah, and if you look under our, best place to find it, of course, is on YouTube. If you just go under live videos, you can see all of the lives chronologically in order. They're also linked to each project that are on Bead Shop. So if you go to Bead Shop, you see the project, there's a little video icon. You can find the video there. And the videos stay on there in perpetuity. So you don't need to worry about catching them. But subscribe to the YouTube channel. Then the new videos will always be in your feed. And you will be able to find them. Super fast, super easy. They're also listed under playlists, or you can make your own playlists of favorite Bead Shop broadcasts. I think it was a Bead Shop Live, so it's probably on the Bead Shop Live broadcast playlist. And the broadcasts are Ellen. She timestamps everything. So Ellen goes in post-broadcast and timestamps. So in an especially chatty broadcast like this one, you can fast forward to where you want to be in the project, right? So you don't have to sit through it all. Because the chat sometimes is super fun that's live, but sometimes when you're watching it on repeat, you're like, I just want to know where Kate did that thing and not hear all this chat. So it's there. So now I'm going to open this up. We'll go here in the center, and I'm going to just come in. I'm going to go in the middle of this 3-segment chain loop because the chain loops are kind of small. This white bead, this is a 6mm fire polished, and I think it's the etched. I've got it right here in projects. It's the white etched gold finish. And we'll have this all listed, right? All listed on the on a project page for you. And I'll take a photo of this last one. Cindy, thank you so much. You know, I've been making loops for forever. It's just like anything else, a bit of practice. Remember back in deep pandemic days, I did that that Bead Olympics, right? And I urged you to practice. We did how many loops we could do in like 5 minutes time or something like that. But practicing with your loops, that's what it takes to get perfect loops for sure. This one will go about right here. And I'm not counting the links at all. Okay. You're just kind of visualizing it, I think. You don't need to get that precious about it. Open this up. Sorry, I had to get it in my focal range. I'm going to put it in this ring. I'm going to put it in this ring right here. And see how these little 90 degrees, they really act like a pair of fingers. Except I dropped it. So let me pick it up again. Let me try and get it on the right side of the link. I think it wants to be on this side so they all hang down from the chain, but that's not a deal breaker either. Let me see if I can get these on. Come on, there we go. Right, like that. And then let's put our 2 more on. Over here. And over here. And this side. I'm going to put it right here on this one. Come on. Okay. Just like that. All right, so now we have 3. Let me do this. And this. And let me hold it up. I'll put it back in the shot. Just give me a second here while I arrange everything. Or I can do this here. Here we go. The dangles are a good addition, I think. Let's hold it up. Let's see where we are. Let's untwist it a little bit. Hold this back there. Hold this over here. Right? Look at that. Not bad. Right? 3. Let me, yeah, look at, not bad at all. I think it needs one more, let me put this back there. I think it needs one more soft flex, right? I think I've got time. Let me just do this. And then I'm going to show you, we're going to connect it all together. So let's get another piece of soft flex. I'm going to ramp this up. I think what's bugging me are my beads are kind of, usually I like them in a pile, but today I'm not. I'm going to get these out of here like this. There we go. And I don't think I'm going to use, this is that worldview chain, which I like. Maybe I could just use it as a plain piece of chain. Maybe. Let me just put it there and see what happens. Let me just crimp very quickly some soft flex. I'm going to get another, what did I do? 19, 20, 21 inches, I think is what I did. So I'll do the same because I want all of this to kind of bunch up together like that. So here's this. I do have to find those other clasps though before I close it. But I'll do that when everybody's taking their screenshots of this piece. Okay, so let me show you kind of my fast way of doing this. I'm going to use the gold crimps this time. I'm going to use a little, I'm going to put them in here. There we go. Let me start in the center. This was my center one here. So I'm going to do this. And I'm not going to do it super long. One of these. Come on, go in there. Okay, so there's that section. Like that, right? Hopefully you can see all of this. Now I'm going to put a crimp tube on this side and this side. And now I'm going to string another crimp tube on this side and another crimp tube on this side. And I'm going to put another segment on. I'm going to do that same segment, but I'm going to do it with these white ones. This is like speed beading here, right? So I'll put my crimp on that side. Now I'll go to this side. You want to make sure though that you don't forget to add the crimps. So I've got 2 crimps there. I've got 2 crimps there. Now I have to repeat that pattern. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and one of these, and one of these. Okay, so that's 3 segments. And I'm going to go, whoops, this fell off. I'm going to do one more small segment. So I need a crimp tube. I want one of these. I'm going to use one of these, and a crimp. And then I'll do my last one. So I'll go to this side, crimp, this one, this pretty with the gold on top, this, and a crimp. Okay, now I'm going to clear the decks because we're going to do this kind of fast. I'm going to get my tape though, because as you know, beads, their natural habitat is the floor. So I want to securely put my tape on. Now I'm also going to move these beads out of the way. I never use these guys, but that's okay. There's still room for like stuff on the chain. There's my little tester. There are those guys. Here is this strand. Here's the clasp. We're going to look at the clasp in a second. Let me clear off all of this detritus on here. There we go. Put that down. So we have, because I want to see how I space these out. And this chain is, so here's this one. Can you see this okay? Let me zoom out just a little bit. There we go. There's that strand. Here's this one. I can always cut this and get a little more bead in here, but I'm not going to because we don't need that. We don't really have time for it right now. This guy. And yeah, maybe this plain, shiny worldview chain. All right, so there is that. This is my center, approximately. Okay, so now here are all the beads that I strung with the crimps. Okay, so here's my center right here. So I'm going to crimp that in place. Do you hear my elbow hitting a bead tray? The beads are going to want to go on the floor as we speak. What I do a lot of times is I come in and I do the first crimp, and then I'll come in and I'll do the fold so that my hands are repeating the action so I don't screw it up. Then I'll do this one over here. This looks like it needs to be about right there. And remember, this is multiple strand, so we're not super worried about, you know, the spacing. If this were a single strand, I might really worry a bit about spacing. Okay. But they're all going to kind of blend in together. I'm going approximately here, like that. Like this one. Okay. So now these are all crimped down. Now I'm going to fold them all in one line. Crimp and fold. Give it a little hug. Now I can also put my crimp covers on these, but I actually think I'm not going to do that. I can come back and do it after I'm done, maybe. I want to see how it looks. Turn that crimp to the side. There we go. And we're going to fold it. There we go. Fold it. There we go. And see, since you're doing that same movement the whole time, it's fast and easy. Okay, so there's our five strands. Okay. All right, let's start connecting these together. So while I'm going to zoom the camera out so you can take a little screenshot so I can find those flippin' little lobster claws. If I have to use something in another color, I will. But there's that for the moment. Okay. Hang on, let me stand up. I haven't stood up for a second. There we go. I'm up. Let me take a swig of coffee. All right. I seriously had my hands on these clasps not more than 24 hours. Isn't that irritating? And then I promise I will show you folks the how I've organized my head pens and stuff. Let me see what I have here. This might. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Phew, that was close. Bear with me here. I just need to untangle them while you're looking at it. And we're going to come in with our other little, these are the little lobsters that we carry. Whoops, don't drop them. And you can use the little lobsters. They sit really perfectly with this clasp, just like so. And what I like to do for the other end, now we're going to prep this. We're going to prep this to be crimped. We need some good jump rings. And I had some oval jump rings. Here they are. This might be the 6mm oval. You can use any jump ring that you like. I'm going to use these ovals because I like them. I like how they sit. So the way this clasp comes is, the idea is that you can use any necklace, any chain. So your current necklace, whatever the lobster claw or whatever kind of spring ring or whatever of your current necklace would attach to that loop. And then it would come around and the loop of your current necklace would attach to this lobster claw. So that's how these come. They come with a loop and a clasp on, and you use them either with a new necklace that you make or use it on existing strands that you already have or chains or whatever. Okay, if that makes sense. So, okay. I'm going to attach chains together first. And I think I'm going to attach all three of these chains together in one jump ring and attach it to the center. Okay, that's what I think I'm going to do anyway. So we're going to run over, but that's no surprise. I want this to be about 19 inches. So my center point, I'm going to say my center point is right here. And I'm going to actually tape this down because this wants to keep falling down. So if that's my center, let me get a little piece of tape. Okay. 10 inches is my center point. Okay. Janice is also saying you could use the Clio clasp if you don't want to change out your strands. 100% JP. The Clio clasp is, and I don't have one sitting right to hand, but it looks like this. It just doesn't have the little lobster claws on it, right? Looks really good. So let me find my center. Find the center. And find the center. So that's the middle. Let me get these strands out of the way. And I'm going to swing that center kind of to the side. like that. And I'm going to say this needs to go to about right here. There's my center. There's 10. It'll go to about there. Okay. Let me get this in there. Okay. So I'm going to come in with my jump ring. Even that one out. Even that one out. Even that one out. So I'm going to make them all the same length as this gold one is right here. Okay. Let me cut. Where's my wire cutter? I'm going to cut this one. Yeah, we go on every Wednesday and Friday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific. So on the East Coast, that's 3 hours behind. Or 3 hours ahead, sorry. Okay. Now, I'm going to use my oval jump ring. And again, that's just what I have to hand here. You could use a 5 or 6 millimeter round. I'm going to use a couple of jump rings anyway, but I'm just going to use this oval because I like how it sits. And we carry a lot of nice oval jump rings. Slide all of these on. Come on. There we go. Like that, right? Let me tighten in. So you can see that a little bit better. Now I'm going to close it. Now I'm going to come over to the other side. Use the necklace kind of as my guide. If this is my center right here. And I'm going to clip those other two chains. This one looks like it's about the right length. Maybe I'll just clip away like 2 links. And let me clip away the other link. I'm going to say about right there. Okay, now get that oval ring. Let me open it up. It doesn't really matter the order you put these on. Just matters that they get on the ring. There's that one. I love this Worldview chain. We've got it in the shiny gold and the shiny silver. It just looks so lush, I think. Okay. I also need... so what I'm going to do here for the lobster claw, I'm going to attach it with another oval, just so it's got some movement, right? I could use a smaller jump ring for this, but again, since this is what I have, this is what I'm going to use. So can you see how this will come in and attach right there? Oh, thanks for letting me know I'm out of frame. Let me zoom out just a little bit. Sorry, I'm totally just watching what I'm doing and not keeping one eye on the camera. Okay. And then on this side, you can see, where's my ring? It's here. Let me also attach another jump ring to this side so it'll be easier to grab, right? So my center section, So now this section can be worn just as a necklace itself, right? Or it could be layered on this clasp. Let me hold it up so you can see it. Okay, so we've got this so far, right? So let's go ahead and connect the soft flex ones. Now, to make this easy, let me get this back here. To make this easy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to crimp these with rings on the end. I think I'm going to crimp them with wire guards, and then I can just slide the jump ring through. So let me get, where did these guys go? I think I've got gold wire guards here. I do. Let me just get an idea about a length. If this is the center and this is the center. I'm going to open these up. Kind of line it up with this center. Right? There's the center there. Kind of. Right? And I look at it and I go, okay, I'm going to need to crimp them out at about there and about there. Okay? So I'm just going to do it. Let me get my wire guards out. I'm going to do the wire guards in gold since the lobster claws are in gold. This is the lobster claw side. So I'm going to get those ready because the lobster claw, I'm just going to crimp them because I'm going to put jump rings in them. So I'm not going to worry about that too much. I am going to use gold crimp tubes though. Maybe I'll use gold on the ones that were gold. I'm going to use gold on all of them. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, so here's my first segment. So I'm going to put my crimp tube on. It'll go about right there. I'm going to put my wire guard on. I think this is turning out okay, she said surprisedly. Can I get this on there? The trick is to hold the wire guard where I need it to get the soft flex in the wire guard. Get the soft flex around the wire guard. Normally, I'd be putting it through a clasp at this point. But since I'm going to put a jump ring in there, I don't need to worry. Let's make sure that this is still about center. That's the middle. As long as this middle one is kind of lining up with that one there. Yeah, you could definitely use a design board. 100% you could. I've got one over actually sitting right here. But my space under the camera is a little limited today because I've got all kinds of crap sitting around, to be honest. But you could definitely line them up and be a little more resolute in what you're doing. I'm just doing this fairly quickly because this is live. Be careful what you're clipping there. And now I'm going to come in, open this oval jump ring through and through a lobster claw. close it, make sure that ring is closed. Then this one goes on here. Now I'm going to come around and I'm going to do this one on this side. I'm not going to keep the clasp closed like I normally would if this were beaded on regular soft flex, beaded rather than a float, because I already have the right amount of slack in this, so I don't need to worry about crimping it too tightly, if that makes sense. So here, slide this up. It's going to go about right there. So this comes on. I go back through. I do this. Then I'm going to check the length before I do too much else, just to make sure. It doesn't have to lay exactly the same length, but I want it to be close. That's good. That looks good. So see what I do here with the wire guards? I did this last time and I didn't point it out. I came in and I just closed the little legs of the wire guard together so that when I bring my crimp tube up to it, let me get a little tighter. When I bring my crimp tube up to it, you can crimp it nicely right next to the crimp tube, or right next to the wire guard. So crimp, turn, and crimp. We're on the home stretch here. I've got to lower my shoulders from being up around my earlobes. Breathe in and out, and just put a jump ring on there. Okay. One last one. Get that there. Get that closed. Get it attached. All right, final one, my final answer. Let me make sure. Yep, this is looking good. So let's go. Let's kind of put this one kind of here and here. Now I've got to put this one in. So I'm going to take the tape off, put my crimp, my wire guard, unlock my knees as I'm standing up. I used to do, when I did demos at shows and at Beat and Button and in Tucson, all of those, right? You get so used to standing and demoing. I just want to make sure that this is center, and it is. Good job, me. But then sometimes you kind of lose your mojo, but I like standing up to demo. It helps me focus a little bit, especially when I'm doing something like that. I've got to get it exactly right. When I'm sitting down is more for designing. But action means standing. Someone mentioned Beads, Baubles, and Jewels when I was on. That was such a fun show to do with Katie Hacker. Such a good time. And they would always ask you at the beginning of the show, or when you were going to, for your segment, when you were going on and stuff, did you prefer to stand and do your demo, or do you prefer to sit? And I was like, we're standing for this one. So all of those segments were standing for sure. Let's open this up, put it on and close it. Open this one. And as I said, we'll have Drea. She'll link all of the materials that I used for this one, for this mix and match necklace. So let's attach here, and we've got one final crimp. Gosh, I've crimped a lot of crimp tubes today. Let's bring it around. Turn it over. Yeah, Beads, Baubles, and Jewels was great. So let me show you what I'm doing here so you can see this. I'm going to, yeah, when I had the clay patch, I know, my bob. I miss that bob, but, you know, it's like I'm going gray. I'm going to cut my hair short. Why not? So there it is. You can see that's the right length. Who knows? It might make a reappearance. You never know. I'm going to hold it about here. Let me put this down. I know epic seems to be the word of the day for our broadcasts these past few weeks, hasn't it? We're going hard on it. Let me get this. Now I don't need this anymore. Let me get rid of that. Because this is the last crimp, so it has to be just right. I don't want to screw it up on the last crimp. You know what I'm saying? That would just be a super bummer. Let's pull this tight. Work around the camera. Okay. I'm going to crimp it right there. Okay. Sorry, I meant to have this camera angle up too. Sorry about that. Okay. So let me go in, bring this strand around. It's kind of twisted. I don't want it to be twisted. So come out. There we go. All right. Crimp needs to go about right there. So I'm going to put I need it to be right there. So let me get my crimp tube. Got one left right there. I've got my wire guard. I'm going to take this down. Keep that visual. Yeah, this is the 3-loop layering clasp. We have it in the gold and in the silver. This style really says summer to me. I don't know why. Drea was really instrumental in us getting these layering clasps. She was like, we need layering clasps. And I'm like, what are you talking about? But we started using them and creating with them, and we just love them. This goes through, and then I'll adjust the length. One last time, doing these crimps, right? Doing the closures is almost takes as long as making the necklace, doesn't it? It's really true, because you can't be slapdash about the closures, right? If you are, it's not going to hold, right? And push that up. And now we'll crimp it. And then we're going to attach the jump rings to this. Here and here. And I would go through, after I'm done with this, before I photograph everything, I'm going to go through and just double check that all of my jump rings and everything are closed, and that all my crimps are closed. Because I've been a little cavalier on the broadcast trying to do this quickly. But we just want to make sure that everything's closed. Like I can see this one. I just can't let it go. I have to close this jump ring. See how it's not quite closed? And if a jump ring is not quite closed, it means it's open. There we go. That looks right. Now we're going to do 2 of these. Open one, attach it to our wire guard, and close it. Check all angles to make sure that's closed. And now this one. Open it, close it. Okay. And attach, my friends. There we go. All right. Let me hold this up. Okay. Let's see how it looks. So here we are. Look. Not bad, if I do say so myself. Let me try it on. Get my clasp going the right way, right? This one's this way, this one's this way. And it has a magnet. Oh, yes. Yes, girl. Look. Let me throw those behind my shoulders. It's really good. I love it. Jeanette, you could also do some wire wraps instead, right? Like I did the wire wraps with these little segments. You could do tiny little wire wraps. It would look great, right? It would just be, it would be a little sturdier that way. Thanks, you guys. Oh, thank you so much, folks. It does drape pretty well, if I do say so myself. I kind of love it too. I'll lay it down on the second camera and let you folks see it. It kind of goes with these earrings. I'll put these earrings in the shot too. Oh, yeah, I did this. Woo! Yeah, it's been an hour and 45. This has been it's been a long free tip. Let me put this down here. It is kind of Met Gala worthy, I think. Let me make a nice arrangement so you can all screenshot this. You folks are so nice, making me feel really good. Let me zoom out here so you can see this. Let me get this. Let me zoom out. And it wasn't too bad in terms of materials, right? We did, and I'll talk us through it while we're looking at it. Let me put my big earrings there too. Right? Here's my big, fun, and you could cut these tassels down too. They don't need to be this epic. And these these are silver, but you could use gold for this. And it'll be up as a project. I think I'm going to call it mixed. I don't know. But Drea will have it up because she's got the list. But it really, I think it's pretty good. So let's break it down just a little bit. So we've used that 3-strand layering clasp that's right here. And I mixed the metals, mostly because I knew that I had the Softlex in the silver, right? So I thought, well, I'm going to embrace that and I'm going to mix the metals. So all of the hardware here, from the little lobsters to the oval jump rings, are all gold, okay? But in one strand, this strand over here, I used crimp tubes that were silver. And in the other strand, I used crimp tubes that were gold. I thought that these little skinny bugle beads worked out pretty well, right? It gives a little bit of like a slim shape to it and color here, a little bit of texture contrast. And then I use that 6mm. I used the light blue with matte bronze. I used this white, this is the white etch with gold finish. I had those dangles, and I'll take a project map photo of this for you as well. But see how the dangles are on the dot head pins? And then the chain I used was long and short in antique silver, circle back in the matte gold, and then this worldview in the shiny gold. And that kind of calls back the shiny gold of that clasp. Then in the 4mm, I used the charcoal matte luster, this one here. And then I used in the bugle, this is the bugle 2, the 2001 And that, I don't have the color name for that, but it's the 2001 for that. I do think the earrings kind of work. I could change these out to a gold, but why? It looks fine. And they are super simple, so it really lets this shine through, I think, for sure. So that's it, my friends. Let me give you a final length, because I really have no idea. My guess is maybe it's 20 inches. Let me see. I'll tell you. Whoops, I just dropped my tape measure. Let me get it. Hang on. Okay, there it is. Here it is. I know a multi-strand is perfect for the summer, I think. And with this, you could use, like Janice said, a Clio clasp. But this one, you can add or take away more strands, right? So this is door to door. It's 19 inches. And see, when I hold it out like this, it does graduate just a little, but it doesn't, it kind of happened to come out that way, right? I also promised you that I'd take my second camera off and show you my head pin. Yeah, I really like it. It'll be good. It's a good Europe necklace for sure. Let me take this down here, and I could twist it. I don't want to twist it too much because I don't want to over twist that soft flex. Let me arrange everything here, but I could, especially if I lightly twisted. Let me show you. You're going to see the mess behind the scenes here real quick. But here, can you see how it's, let me try and focus. So here is where I have all my head pins. Kind of hard to keep everything in focus when I'm moving the camera around. But I have them all printed. You know, I take the little labels that come on our bags when we order, you know, just like you do, like this. When we get a product that comes, it has the little sticker on it, and I put the little sticker right on the front of my drawers. You can see I've done that also with all the chain, and the chain is in alphabetical order. What I did with the head pins is, here's the 1.5 inch, the 2 inch, 2 inch with the ball, sterling and gold filled. So they're all in a cross. I've got the antique brass, then the antique copper, etc., etc. So they're in a grid, so they're pretty easy to find. I'm going to do the same thing with all the symbol findings and stuff that I've got over here. That's going to go in here. And I've got one more that's sitting over there in this mess where all the clasps are going to go. So I hope that helps you. Just showing you like that. So my friends, I'm going to be back with you next week. I leave the following week, so we've got a couple more lives together. Also, I want you to check out the newsletter tomorrow, because there's going to be, there might be a little something special in that newsletter. Depends on how much work I get done today. But do check the newsletter in the morning, okay, for some new stuff that's dropping. Other than that, my friends, have a fantastic and creative weekend. I hope you love this. We're going to have this up, but you know, just decide what it is that you like and just create. The linchpin really, literally, is our layering clasp that we carry. And look at how great it looks on the back. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. I'll see you next Wednesday. Have a great weekend. Talk to you soon, all. Bye-bye.